This Seniors Empowerment Workshop session is being organized by the C3 Church Calgary Southeast. CCCSE received this funding from the Federal Government of Canada through the New Horizon for Seniors program for 2023 to 2024 to support Black seniors with mental health conditions to combat the lingering psychological effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. C3 Church Calgary Southeast is a faith-based community organization whose mandate and activities are dedicated to the spiritual and educational advancement of our members in the Black, visible minority, and immigrant communities in southeast of Calgary, Alberta. We coordinate socially inclusive, information-sharing workshops for vulnerable individuals that facilitate the development of basic social interactive community involvement of seniors and youths, advocacy, and other social development programs. As a faith-based community organization, we achieve our mandate and uphold our vision by providing direct services to as many as 254 Black and visible minority community members annually. These services include 1. Provide wedding services, marital counseling, and conflict resolution services to community members. 2. Providing counseling, social, and advocacy support systems for women impacted by gender-based violence and connect them with appropriate social and justice systems. 3. Increasing accessibility to social programming for Black seniors to improve their community engagement and combat social isolation and loneliness. And 4. Delivery of nutritional food and personal protective equipment to vulnerable Black and visible minority families.
Hello, and welcome to the Seniors Better Living Workshop. This session focuses on what is senior abuse? What causes seniors to be abused? What are the types of seniors abuse? How does seniors abuse negatively impact seniors? And what are some preventative strategies that family members and/or caregivers can adapt to combat physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional or psychological abuse, sexual abuse, abandonment, and self-neglect? What is senior abuse? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, elder abuse is an intentional act or failure to act that causes or creates a risk of harm to an older adult. An older adult is someone age 60 or older. The abuse occurs at the hands of a caregiver or a person the elder trusts. World Health Organization defines elder abuse as a single or repeated act or lack of appropriate action occurring within any relationship where there is an expectation of trust, which causes harm or distress to an older person. This type of violence constitutes a violation of human rights and includes physical, sexual, psychological, and emotional abuse, financial and material abuse, abandonment, neglect, and serious loss of dignity and respect. Here are some quick facts about elder abuse types. The types of elder abuse go beyond physical and emotional harm. Elders can suffer from sexual assaults, financial exploitation, abandonment, and more. Most types of elder abuse are committed by trusted individuals like family or nursing home staff. Elders can sometimes mistreat themselves through self-neglect. According to the National Council of Aging, elders are more likely to self-report financial exploitation than emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, or neglect. Psychological abuse is the most common type of elder abuse, according to the NCCC. EA. Elder abuse, key facts by the World Health Organization. Around 1 in 6 people 60 years and older experienced some form of abuse in community settings during the past year. Rates of elder abuse are high in institutions such as nursing homes and long-term care facilities, with 2 in 3 staff reporting that they have committed abuse in the past year. Rates of elder abuse have increased during the COVID-19 pandemic. Elder abuse can lead to serious physical injuries and long-term psychological consequences. Elder abuse is predicted to increase as many countries are experiencing rapidly aging populations. The global population of people aged 60 years and older will more than double, from 900 million to about 2 billion in 2050. What are the types of seniors abuse? According to the Nursing Home Abuse Center, all types of elder abuse can lead to devastating consequences, including physical and/or emotional harm and even death. It is key for older people and their loved ones to know about all elder abuse types. They can use this knowledge to prevent abuse from happening or stop it before severe harm occurs. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention identifies the following as the common types of elder abuse. Number 1, physical abuse. Physical abuse is when an elder experiences illness, pain, injury, functional impairment, distress, or death as a result of the intentional use of physical force. Signs of physical elder abuse include cuts or scrapes, broken bones, bruises, burns, dislocated joints, head injuries, and sprains. There are also signs beyond the injuries themselves that could mean an older person has suffered from physical abuse. These signs include a pattern of hospitalization for the same or similar injuries, delayed medical care for an injury, poor explanations for the elder's injury from care providers, trips to different emergency rooms to possibly avoid suspicion. Number 2, sexual abuse. Sexual abuse involves forced or unwanted sexual interaction of any kind with an older adult. This may include unwanted sexual contact or penetration or non-contact acts, such as sexual harassment. Elders can be sexually abused by anyone, including nursing home staff, residents, in-home caretakers, friends, and family members. Warning signs of elder sexual abuse include bleeding from the anus or genitals, bruised genitals or inner thighs, new sexually transmitted diseases or infections, pain in the anus or genitals, pelvic injuries, problems walking or sitting. Three, emotional or psychological abuse? Emotional or psychological abuse refers to verbal or nonverbal behaviors that inflict anguish, mental pain, fear, or distress on older adults. Examples include humiliation or disrespect, verbal and nonverbal threats, harassment, and geographic or interpersonal isolation. Signs of emotional and psychological abuse in elders include appearing depressed, withdrawn, or scared, avoiding eye contact, different eating or sleeping patterns, isolation from friends and family, low self-esteem, mood swings, and sudden changes in behavior or personality. Number 4, neglect. Neglect is the failure to meet an older adult's basic needs. These needs include food, water, shelter, clothing, hygiene, and essential medical care. Self-neglect happens when an elderly person is no longer able to meet their basic daily needs, and they suffer as a result. An older person may be suffering from self-neglect if they can't drink or feed themselves without help, dress themselves, maintain basic hygiene, maintain their home, manage financial affairs, or properly address their medical needs. Number 5, financial abuse. Financial abuse is the illegal, unauthorized, or improper use of an elder's money, benefits, belongings, property, or assets for the benefit of someone other than the older adult. According to the MetLife study of elder financial abuse costs elders an estimated $2.9 billion every year. It is the most commonly self-reported type of elder abuse. Warning signs of elder financial abuse include a pattern of missing belongings or property, an elderly person who does not know or understand their own financial situation, canceled checks or bank statements that go to someone other than the elder, changes to an older person's power of attorney or bank accounts, eviction notices, evidence of unpaid bills, someone showing unusual interest in how much money an elder is spending, and withdrawals the elder could not have made. Scope of the problem. Many cases of elder abuse are not reported because elders are afraid or unable to tell police, friends, or family about the violence. Victims have to decide whether to tell someone they are being hurt or continue being abused by someone they depend upon or care for deeply. Research further shows that elder abuse is common. Abuse, including neglect and exploitation, is experienced by about 1 in 10 people aged 60 and older who live at home. Some groups have higher rates of abuse than others. Compared with women, men had higher rates of both non-fatal assaults and homicides. The rate for non-fatal assaults increased more than 75% among men between 2002 to 2016, and more than 35% among women between 2007 and 2016. The estimated homicide rate for men increased 7% from 2010 to 2016. A 2021 report by the World Health Organization shares that elder abuse is an important public health problem. The report further shares a 2017 review of 52 studies in 28 countries from diverse regions, which estimated that over the past year, 1 in 6 people, that's 15.7%, aged 60 years and older, were subjected to some form of abuse. The review provides prevalence estimates of the proportion of older people affected by different types of abuse. Data on the extent of the problem in institutions such as hospitals, nursing homes, and other long-term care facilities are scarce. However, a review of recent studies on elder abuse in institutional settings indicates that 64.2% of staff reported perpetrating some form of abuse in the year 2020. Emerging evidence indicates that the prevalence of elder abuse in both the community and in institutions has increased during the COVID-19 pandemic. Here's a look at a table on elder abuse in community and systemic settings. It's labeled elder abuse in community settings and elder abuse in institutional settings. And it also lists the types of abuse: overall prevalence, psychological abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse, neglect, and sexual abuse. Here you can see, as we highlighted, for the overall prevalence, 15.7% elder abuse in community settings, and there's not enough data reported by older adults and proxies, with 64.2% or 2 in 3 staff reported elder abuse in institutional settings. Please take time to have a look at this table. Research further indicates that globally, the number of cases of elder abuse is projected to increase as many countries have rapidly aging populations. Even if the proportion of elder abuse victims remains constant, the global number of victims will increase rapidly due to population aging, growing to some 320 million victims by 2050, as the global population of people aged 60 years and more increases to 2 billion by 2050. How does seniors abuse negatively impact seniors? An article by World Health Organization emphasizes that elder abuse can have serious physical and mental health, financial and social consequences, including, for instance, physical injuries, premature mortality, depression, cognitive decline, financial devastation, and placement in nursing homes. Victims are fearful and anxious. They may have problems with trust and be wary of others. Many victims suffer physical injuries. Some are minor, like cuts, scratches, bruises, and welts. Others are more serious and can cause lasting disabilities. These include head injuries, broken bones, constant physical pain, and soreness. Physical injuries can also lead to premature death and make existing health problems worse. What are some preventative strategies that family members and/or caregivers can adapt to combat physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional or psychological abuse, sexual abuse, abandonment, and self-neglect? Elder abuse can be committed by anyone: friends, family, care staff, or strangers. Because of this, it's important to keep a close eye on your loved ones' well-being and take action if you think any type of elder abuse is occurring. To prevent elder abuse, we must understand and address the factors that put people at risk for or protect them from violence. Some factors include: listen to older adults and their caregivers to understand their challenges and provide support. Report abuse or suspected abuse to local adult protective services, long-term care ombudsman, or the police. Educate oneself and others about how to recognize and report elder abuse. Learn how the signs of elder abuse differ from the normal aging process. Check in on older adults who may have few friends and family members. Provide overburdened caregivers with support, such as help from friends, family, or local relief care groups, adult daycare programs, counseling, outlets intended to promote emotional well-being. Encourage and assist persons, either caregivers or older adults, having problems with drug or alcohol abuse in getting help. Risk and protective factors. A combination of individual, relational, community, and societal factors contribute to the risk of becoming a perpetrator of elder abuse. They are contributing factors and may or may not be direct causes. Understanding these factors can help identify various opportunities for prevention. Number one, relationship risk factors. High financial and emotional dependence upon a vulnerable elder, past family conflict, inability to establish or maintain positive pro-social relationships, and lack of social support. Number two, individual risk factors. These are current diagnosis of mental illness, current or past abuse of drugs or alcohol, current physical health problem, past experience of disruptive behavior, past experience of traumatic events, high levels of stress, poor or inadequate preparation or training for caregiving responsibilities, inadequate coping skills, exposure to or witnessing abuse as a child, and social isolation. Number 3, societal risk factors. There are specific characteristics of institutional settings, such as nursing homes and residential facilities, that can increase the risk for perpetration, including staffing problems and lack of qualified staff, and staff burnout and stressful working conditions. Protective factors for elder abuse. These are protective factors for victimization, individual protective factors, such as emotional intelligence, relationship protective factors, such as having social support, and community protective factors, such as a sense of community, meaning residents feel connected to each other and are involved in the community. Thank you so much for joining us for this Seniors Better Living workshop. We look forward to seeing you again.